My bad. I just noticed I was muted. I do that sometimes, y'all. But welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all punch that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. We are live. We got a good one to discuss here. Miami Dolphins can have over $70 million in cap space with these moves. We'll talk about it. Another stream at Racimi. We back to back. The last one that we just did was about Tyreek and his comments that he just made about what this team needs moving forward. So go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. All right, for those who are piling in right now, punch that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe right now. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Ronnie, I see you. California, Omnaron, Erasimi always in the building. DC Cope, what's up, man? Thank y'all for tuning in, but we're going to dive in. But before we do, we want you to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150, all right? Again, that is code YouTube150. If you're looking for a sports book, BetUS is where you want to be. BetUS has the odds up for the Super Bowl, everything you need. They even got the heads and tails for the opening kickoff. What is it going to be, heads or tails? I think everybody loves to go tails on that. But they have all the props for the games, everything you want. Now, remember, BetUS is not just the sports book. It has the live betting, casino, race book, and so much more, including BetUS TV, all right? And on BetUS TV, I am a part of an amazing show that just hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube called The Huddle. It's Dan Mitchell, Richie Malora, and myself. Come check us out on BetUS TV, ladies and gentlemen. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. And again, if you're looking for a new sports book, make sure you check out BetUS, code YouTube150. All right, we got to get into this one. I was giving y'all some time to come in. Y'all give me a second because I messed up on the last stream. I didn't read any of the super chats that came through. And people give their hard-earned money, whether it's $1, $2, $5, $10, 20, 50, 100, whatever it may be. People give their hard-earned money to this channel, and it's never my intention to not read anybody's super chats. So I slipped up on the last stream. That's totally on me, my bad. But I want to hit those for you real quick. How people bless me with the donation to the channel. So G Firm, my homie, he said, "What up, my brother? Showing love as usual. Love you, man." Eureka Master says, "So we really about to go into 2025 force feeding an aging wide receiver with an injury-prone QB?" Wow. You know what? That's a great question because we might. But, we'll talk about that more. G Firm again said, "Bro, are you not going to call Reek out on the drops?" How many drops did Tyreek have, G Firm? I mean, everybody has bad passes. Everybody makes bad plays. Everybody has those moments. Like calling Tyreek out on a handful of drops during the season, no matter how big or small they were. Are we going to call Tua out on the interceptions? I'm just curious. That's all I'm saying. See, we want to call everybody out, but that one person ain't allowed to get really called out. That's how I feel, at least. Eureka Master said, "Allen don't need Diggs. Tua don't need Hill." All right, if you believe so. A. Burgos said, "Tyreek is right. Forget about all the gossip. The point is this roster is not close. O-line sucks, QB is fragile, and the defense, well, we'll see. Cooked by Houston and Rodgers." Yeah. No debate there. Yankee Lover 100 said Tony Sirgusa was a dog for the Ravens. Mike Vrabel was a dog. Will Cole said Denver was blowing KC out, and he was already playing banged up. So what's the point of playing? Y'all love scapegoating. That's all I feel it was, a scapegoat. And Lancelot C, is Tua a dog? Be objective, TD. No, Tua not a dog. It's easy to determine Tua not a dog because quarterbacks are usually given the keys to be the ultimate dog. When has he ever grabbed it? See, dogs don't just show up, in, whenever we don't see. We could see the aura all day, every day, press conferences and all. It's the assurance in which you walk in and the way you conduct yourself. You don't hear all them hope words and things like that. So no, he's not. No. In my opinion, at least. All right. Anyway, let's get into and those are all the super chats from the last stream, by the way. I just didn't want to, do anybody dirty that took time to send their hard-earned money to me and on these streams. And again, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the love and support as always. Greatly appreciated. Salute to every single one of y'all donating to the channel. Michael Brown, I got to get that right. Just donated to the channel. Salute to you, homie. Thank you. All right. Let's dive in. Okay. This stream, I told y'all I was going to tell y'all how the Miami Dolphins can save over $70 million in cap space with a certain amount of moves. Now, I want to bring something up on the screen to assist me in this process. I'm going to go to over the cap, and that way we can have a discussion. You can see everything that I'm talking about, all right? And again, I'm delivering facts. I'm not giving you hope. We're talking factual. Share screen, over the cap. There we go. Here we go. I'd rather do this view. Might be a little better so people can see. I do wish I was on the screen a little more, but this will be fine. It is what it is. All right, let me bring myself up here. So hopefully everybody can see just fine. All right, so first of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, you can look at the screen right now. At the very top, do you see that red $11.9 million? We're in red. The Miami Dolphins are negative $12 million. Let's just round up. Negative $12 million going into this offseason. Now, here's what's interesting. Right now, the roster says there's 49 active players under contract. This is a true lie and a false fact. The truth is, and the fact is, there are not 49 players under contract. The false lie is the fact that only about 35 at max is going to make the roster. About a few weeks ago, that number on here had like 32 or something like that. The reason why a whole bunch more people showed up on here is because the last few weeks, Chris Grier has been signing future contracts. And these are guys that pretty much, for the most part, they don't have any guaranteed money. And you can start that down here. Bam. All the way down with Devin A-Chain, even though he's not a future contract. But when you keep going down, lower and lower and lower, you'll see how many people are on futures contracts. Keep going. Look at all the way down here, all the way down here. Isaiah Johnson, Tariq Black, Jordan Colbert, Daquan Jackson, Jason Matire, Byron Mattos, Derek McClendon, Hayden Rusey, Chasen Hines, William Bradley King, Braden Daniels, Ryan Hayes, Grayson Murphy, and Jumai. All of these guys, a lot of these guys, Chris Grier signed futures contracts. And 85, 90% of them ain't going to make the roster. Okay? A lot of these guys ain't even going to make the roster. All right, so over the last few weeks, it looked like we got a lot of people under contract, but it's not the real case of what this roster is going to be. Based off of my calculations, we're going to have about 17 vacancies on the roster that has to be filled with players that they feel good about starting or being a really good backup in the future. All right, so with that being said, we got to dive in on, we got to fill 17 spots. And we ain't got no money. How do we fix that? So let's break it down. First of all, the Miami Dolphins do have draft picks. Typically, everybody gets 7 draft picks. I like to operate off of 7, right? Now, how many draft picks usually make the roster every year? 3? If you're lucky, 4. Y'all let me know in the chat. How many draft picks usually make the active roster at the beginning of the season? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. And this is going to be a collaborative stream. Get y'all help, what y'all think about some of this stuff, and we can start to draw some of our conclusions, right? Somebody said 5. Somebody said 2. Let me see. Last year, Chop Robinson, Patrick Paul made the roster as a backup. Then you had I gotta go look at my roster, my beginning. I gotta see who actually made the starting roster and who didn't. But it's safe to say about 3 to 4, honestly, based off of history, right? So we need 17 vacancies on the roster. Go ahead and subtract 4 from that. We need 13 players. And remember, they're going to sit about $10 million aside for this year's draft class. So when I say they're going to sit $10 million aside for this year's draft class, the Dolphins really only they're negative $22 million. They're technically negative $22 million. And you're going to need to get in the positive to address those other 13 positions. All right. Let me go this way, see if this is better. No. Yeah, well, and I'll fix this in a little bit, y'all. Trying to see something. But yeah, you're going to need about $13 million. I mean, you're going to need about $22 million to figure it out. Now, let me see here. Top 51. Liabilities, 17, 12. All right, cool. Somebody said the cap going up by 20 million. This is already with the cap projections, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, this is already with the cap projections. This is probably with about because total cap liabilities is 287. Total 51 is 270, and you're already negative 12 million. So this is already projecting close to a $300 million cap. Just FYI. Every year they already have the projections usually built in. So we'll see at that part. All right. Now, negative 22 million if you subtract the draft picks. How do we get in the positive? All right, so here's what the Dolphins would need to do. Let's start with the big fish. Tua Tagovailoa. There are several options the Dolphins can take for Tua Tagovailoa. We can talk about trades and all of that. Those are all options, but we're going to operate as if he's going to be on this roster, right? They can do a maximum restructure of Tua Tagovailoa's salary, and Tua could save us $19 million this year. Now, if we do that, his cap is going to increase by about $5 million for the next 4 years after that, which is also more guarantees. So next year will be almost 60 million. The year after that will be 58. And then the year after that is almost like 70, which is a disaster. So we could save 19 million off rip by giving Tua a max restructure. The likelihood of that happening between highly likely, likely, unlikely, and very unlikely, it's likely. Not highly likely, but it's likely. Why? Because Chris Greer's on the hot seat. he got to do everything possible to do what Tyreek just said. We need dogs. This is why I say we might have the best roster ever because Chris Grier is on the hot seat. Why does he care about a future that he won't be a part of if he don't get it right? Let me say that again. Why would Chris Grier care about our situation of the future if he won't be a part of it if he don't do what he need to do now? That's why it's likely for Tua to get a max restructure. And right there, we're negative $3 million if you take away the draft money. We're all the way to negative $3 million. Okay, we made some ground. Bam. Me personally, it would be the craziest thing ever to do to give Tua a max extent restructure. But we've already seen crazy. They extended them in the first place with the risk of exactly what just happening, a high risk of it too. So that's the first move that they can make. The next move they can make is Durham SMI, cutting him. He got passed up by Jonnu. Durham SMI went ghost this year. He was really good the year before. This year, not even existent. It was the Jonnu show. Durham SMI was the guy that was supposed to save you money, but Jonnu took the role. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of y'all going to disagree. I feel like Durham SMI could have did almost exactly what Jonnu did this year if he was actually in that role this time. Because don't forget, Durham SMI was the guy with 83% completion percentage the year before. Everything thrown his way, he was just about catching. But now they relocated him to the bench or primary blocking tight end and letting Jonnu catch all the passes. I feel like Durham SMI could have done just as well and had a breakout year this year if he was the primary guy. But to save money, he might be a cap casualty. The Dolphins can get $2.2 million back. What will that do? That will basically put us even. That'll put us even. But remember, that's one less player. So from 14 vacancies, we go to 15 vacancies. And now we're even money. Next person who we can cut is Raheem Mostert. This one I think should happen, in my opinion, because A-Chain and Jalen Wright is the future anyway. You can save $2.9 million by cutting Raheem Mostert. That means now you have 16 vacancies and you got $3 million positive. And Jeff Wilson got to go. But we got 16 vacancies now. Draft another running back in the later rounds. Next up, Bailey, our punter. We could save $1.75 million. Go find another good punter for less than the 3 or something he would be making. You could save $1.75 million. Now you got $4.5 million, 17 vacancies on the roster. Now let's take a step back from the cuts that'll happen like early next month or late next month. Let's go to the restructures. You can restructure Chubb, Jackson, and Zeeler for $24 million. For $24 million, you can restructure. You need to restructure Jackson anyway because you want to keep him long term. Zeeler, you probably want to keep him long term, so restructure him and extend him. Chubb is the wild card. The contract says you can't get off. You eating a lot of dead cap. So maybe can you restructure him? All I'm saying is if you restructure all three of them, we save $24 million. Now, remember what a restructure means. It means that you're kicking the can down the road, you're converting salary into signing bonus, and or you're giving an extension. That gives us $28.5 million. Now, remember, all these moves I'm saying right now, it puts us in a way worse negative situation next year. So if you look at next year on this screen, we'll start out with $2 million, but by the time you do all this, you're probably negative 25 million. You're probably negative 25 million into the next season. And this is just the beginning, y'all. Whole lot more to happen. Okay, let's go back to 2025. So here we are. We need 17 people to fill the roster, and we're all positive 28.5 million. Next up, time to cut some more people, but this time we're not cutting them right away. We're doing post-June 1st cuts to save even more money. Number one, Terron Armstead. It's time to go. It is what it is at this point. Because you're about to pay him almost $25 million? No. Cut him, and you'll save $15 million. $15 million by cutting Terron Armstead comes back to us. That'll put us at $43.5 million of cap space with 18 players needed to fill the roster. Next up, Fuller, cornerback. You'll save $7 million. If you cut him post June 1st, you'll save $7 million. But now we need 19 players on the roster. And we got $50.5 million. Next up, Alec Ingold. You'll save $3.7 million. Cutting him post June 1st. Alec Ingold, post June 1st. Now we need 20 players on the roster, and we got $54.2 million of cap space. Here's the big one, the last one. Trading Tyreek Hill after June 1st. The Dolphins would save $15 million. That brings us to $69.2 million, and we'll need 21 players to replace the roster. $69.2 million. Now, there are like 3 contracts that'll save you about $1 million each, but I didn't put them on here. Like $800,000 or $1 million to get us just over $70 million. But if we take those 3 little small itty-bitty contracts out, ladies and gentlemen, the Dolphins about $69.2 million in cap space, but we got to fill 21 roster positions. But here's also the caveat. That means you traded away key players like Tyreek Hill, Fuller, your fullback Ingold, Armstead is gone. Those are key players. Think about that for a second. Just want to make sure my wife all right. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing my second stream. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's what's up. All right, I'll hit you back. Yeah. Thanks for y'all patience. But that's our situation. The Miami Dolphins can save $70 million in cap space, but it'll leave about 21 vacancies on the roster. Okay? Now, when you think about that, you got to ask yourself, first of all, the future. The future would be shot. Next year, we'll probably, like right now, we're negative 12 million. If we did what I just showed you, We probably for the like next year, like we got a lot of cap now, but next year we'd probably be about negative 40 something because them 21 players we're bringing in, we're probably going to be kicking a lot of those contracts to the second year where you get big cap hits. It will be tough. But this is somewhat of a reset. If you think about it, it's kind of a reset. Somebody said you'll get 7 in the draft. No, we already talked about this. We already took away 4 from the draft because out of the 7 in the draft, only about 4 of them make the roster, the active roster every year. And we already minus those 4. And then everybody we cut on here, we added back. So 21 players already with the draft considered. Already with the draft money considered. It's not a reset, you're right, but it's a retool. So here we are, $70 million. But here's the reality. No more Durham SMI, no more Raheem Mostert, no more Jake Bailey, no more Armstead, no more Tyreek, no more Fuller, no more Ingold. 7 of your 7 players, all of them core except Durham SMI, which he is core. He plays a lot of snaps blocking. So out of everybody I just talked about, who's off limits for you? Which one of these guys? No, we can't move on from them. We need them. Let me say the names again. Durham SMI, Mostert, Bailey, Armstead, Tyreek, Fuller, Ingold. Who out of them we say no, we can't do that? Because I'm going to tell you now, they're not trading Tyreek. So let's take our $69.2 million and minus it back to 54.2. They're not trading Tyreek. 54.2, and we need 20 players. We're probably not trading Fuller. Minus that $7 million. We're at 47.2 million, and we need 19 players. Now, let me say one more thing. Let me write that down, though. 47 million, and we're down to, we need 19 players. Now, let's go with the big elephant in the room. Are they going to do a max restructure on Tua's contract, knowing that they shouldn't have signed in the first place? Are they going to do a max restructure on Tua's contract? And I'm going to tell you now, this would be the most insane thing to do. Don't say Tua won't agree. It's beneficial for him. When I say restructure, I'm not talking about for less. Like, you think these guys be taking restructures for less, y'all? No, they don't. They don't. They get more bonus money, mean they get a check right away. It's like getting a raise, even though you're not getting a raise. You're getting more of your money guaranteed, so you don't have to worry about performing well to get it. Here's the problem. If they don't do it, they don't save $19 million. If they don't do it, based off of our calculations right now, we now have $28 million. People don't understand that when we do these free agent signings, we're going to immediately go into the negative for 2026. Because right now, over the cap shows, we only got $2 million cap space next year in 2026. Soon as we start these free agent signings, we're immediately in 2026 going over the cap. So they're going to have to cut some players before that. They got to figure it out. They got to do some max restructures, but the restructures are hurting the future caps anyway, like 2026, 2027. Stop saying 28 million plus the cap space goes up. This is already with the projected increase. This is already with the projected increase. Now, it could be lower than this, or it could be higher than this. But this is already factoring in the projection from my understanding. Was it 2 years ago they had a projected increase, but it actually was lower and it went down? These are the decisions that Chris Grier, he's going to have to make. And another thing, what people need to realize, yesterday's money is not today's money. When you used to have 40 million in cap space, you'd be like, hey, that's solid. And today, that's nothing. If you got 20 million in cap space in today's going into free agency, absolutely nothing. Because even if it goes up by another 20 and you get to 40, everybody else get another 20. And then what a lot of people don't consider is when you get more money, everybody's contract is worth more. The Dolphins, if they do it with the future in mind, they have to bargain shop again. And you know what the Dolphins do every year to bargain shop? They go target every player that's coming fresh off of injury. When the Dolphins bargain shop, they go sign players fresh off of injury. Good players that are fresh off of injury. If you were worth 20 before the injury and you were 10 after the injury, we going to offer you 12 and bet on the upside. That's what we do. That's always what we do. You were worth 10 before the injury. Now you worth 3. We're going to give you 6.5. So we know we can get you and hope that you can be back that $10 million guy. And hope you stay healthy. And people wonder why we always injured. People wonder why we always have injuries. The problem with our cap space is we're not outbidding anybody. And if we do outbid them, it means we overpaid, which is going to make it even harder for us to fill up those 15 to 20 positions that we need to fill. See, what you do in free agency, in my opinion, they got to be all starters. When you go in free agency, you should be picking up starters to begin with. You don't pick up backups in free agency. You can just go do that in the draft. In the back end of free agency, you know. But your main first 2 weeks of free agency, you got to be finding starters. That's when the money getting thrown around. That's when the cash is getting thrown everywhere. And I'm going to tell y'all now who's going to jump out the gate this year. And when you look up, you're going to be like, that roster is loaded. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? You're going to look up next year is one team where you look at their roster and the money they got, you're going to say they loaded. And they're in our division. The New England Patriots got $130 million in cap space. $130 million in cap space with the quarterback who's showing flashes with nothing around him. And even if the cap went up more, it just goes up more for them. Matter of fact, I need to go look at the Patriots real quick. I need to see what's going on with their roster too. Hold on. Let me see how many under contract over there. This says 120 million in cap space. Yeah, that's because they must be, yeah, they did all their future contracts too. Look at all their futures down here at the bottom. Guys, it's not going to make the team. Everybody do this. They even got more than us. They passed the 51-man cutoff. Greer just got to the 51-man cutoff. You know there's a requirement. You need to sign your future contracts and get to your 51-man cutoff. Greer got to it. They've exceeded it. They done signed so many futures. But all these guys are camp bodies, not even going to be on the team. Now, like most of these guys not even going to make the team. Not even going to make the team. You have to go about right here is the real cutoff for them. So let me see how many players they really truly got on the contract that they're investing in. So that's 6 right there. Let me see if they get to more than 40. That's 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23. Let's keep going. 26, 29, 30, 33, 36, 39, 40, and more. 41. So they got 41 technically before they did all them future signings. So they got 41 players that they kind of like. And they literally got 130 million because don't entertain all them contracts at the bottom. That's only why it says 120. They got over 130. So when you got to fill 13 positions with 130 million, that's 10 million per player. And all of them ain't going to be 10 million. Out of them 13, probably 4 or 5 of them going to be less than 5 million. That means they got some big time money they could spend on some big time players. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have 4 or 5 players making over 20 million in free agency. And for years to come, just like us next year, we got 2 million in cap space. They're at 127 again. And that's because they don't have a lot of people on the contract long term. Next year, when they sign a lot, it'll be cut down. But based off of the way contracts go, they'll probably be about 40 to 50 million next year when it's all said and done. One of the most embarrassing things is if we get passed up by the Patriots this year. Let's go to the Jets. Let me see if the Jets got cap. See, the Jets got 21 million right now. And the crazy thing is, let me see, if they cut Aaron Rodgers, well, he's 49 and dead cap. He's going to be a $23.5 million cap hit. It'll save him a little something. I think they'll keep him. And they don't even need much work to do on that roster. But this year, and that's 61 active, they ain't even got much to do. 20 million in cap space, make a few tweaks. Then in 2026, they go to 71 million. And we still at 2 million. And last but not least, let's go look at Buffalo. Yeah, I know they probably strung tight, but at least it's working for them. So right now they're going into this year negative 7 million. But again, they already got it, their team, and a whole bunch of young guys that's going to grow. And some guys they may move on from, like, Von Miller and guys like that, potentially, we'll see. Next year after that, they're at 39 million, and we got 2. So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see. But that's breaking it out for you. I'm going to tell you now, this is all going to be dependent on Chris Grier. If Chris Grier go nuclear, he can create $70 million in cap space. But kiss the future goodbye. Kiss the future goodbye. But I think he got to do it to stay. It'll be good for us because we'll have a good record. We'll make the playoffs, I believe. Now, will we win in the playoffs? I don't know, but we'll have success is what you need to know. We will have success. But will we have playoff success? And if it doesn't work, Greer's getting fired. McDaniel's probably getting fired. We'll be looking for a new coach and GM. It's not going to be a desired destination because you got a quarterback that nobody want probably, and you got an organization that's in cap hell. So therefore, it's a good chance you won't get a good GM. They got to wait 2 years in order to recover. A coach knows that they can get fired after 2 years of having nothing. Sometimes that's how it works. Or it could be the blessing in disguise where all of that is necessary in order to actually see better days. Houston Texans did it. When the coach and GM was on the hot seat, if they didn't win that next year, they would get fired. They traded all them picks for Laramie Tunsil and made some other moves to try, and it failed. And they both got fired. The new GM and the new coach, it was 2 years of not good. Then that third year, I believe, they drafted CJ Stroud. Third year of that, I think it was the third year or fourth year. They drafted CJ Stroud, and their organization has been better off since. 2 playoff wins in a row. They got to get to the next level, but they're young at it. Maybe. That's the problem in Miami. We shall see. It reminds me, Omar Kelly. How many years did he go out here on Twitter and on his stream saying the cap ain't real? He was out here for several years saying the cap ain't real. And about 2 years ago, he started transitioning low key, saying a cap apocalypse is on the way. And now that it's here, he's screaming to the rooftops, I told y'all the cap apocalypse was on the way. And people don't even remember this is the same person that was at first saying it ain't even real. But yeah, cap apocalypse is here, but I told y'all this 3 years ago it would be here. I've been told y'all it would be here. Soon as we got off of Flores and we took this path of Chubb, Ramsey, Tyreek, Armstead, and all them guys, I say, yeah, cap apocalypse. And especially if you pay Tua, it's really going to be on the way. And sure enough, like I told y'all years back, Sarah said, to be fair, TD, he been saying this for years. Which part, Sarah? That it ain't real or cap apocalypse? You must be ain't been around long enough, Sarah. Because 6 years ago, it was 3 years of the cap ain't real. Look at the Saints. They keep doing it. It's just a credit card. We'll figure it out. Now we don't hear that. We hear cap apocalypse for 3 years. Maybe you came around when it was just cap apocalypse. But you missed the 3 years before that when it wasn't real. Maybe you missed the 3 years before the last 3 years when there was no such thing. And I kept saying, yes, it is. Stop listening to him say that. You don't know what he's talking about. And then eventually he going to switch tune when it comes. Yeah. TD, you got a good heart, but my brother, we not winning anything. I just want to be optimistic. And remember, even if we did win something next year, it ain't sustainable because what it's going to cost to do it is crazy. But if we win a Super Bowl, I can care less what it costs. That's all I care about. But everybody getting what they wanted. Not everybody, but a lot of people getting what they wanted, and they're going to see how it ends up. Time always tells. Anyway, but hopefully I did a good job just now showing y'all what time it was on the salary cap. We can create the space. Do you want to hurt the future by doing so, though? And do you want to hurt the roster? Because remember, you got to replace these guys. And who you going to replace them with? Who going to be your corner opposite Ramsey? Who going to be your fullback instead of Ingold and Fuller? Who going to be your receiver that you replace with Tyreek? You going to start Patrick Paul at left tackle instead of Armstead? Last I checked, he was horrible when he played left tackle. Just saying. You move on from Durham SMI. Do you got another tight end that's going to be blocking? Bailey punter. Yeah, you can replace that. Mostert, that's fine. I get that. These decisions got to be made. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm finna get up out of here. I'll see y'all soon. Y'all stay blessed, man. Like I said, I'm kind of on vacation right now. A lot of y'all been hitting me up yesterday and today, like what's going on. Thought I'd go live a little bit today and let y'all know. But yeah, I'm gonna be with the family quite a bit. Usually this time of year, we do this every year because I work so hard during the year on these streams that we kind of take this time off to try to, make sure we dedicate our time to our family. Because y'all know I be always on these streams. Y'all see me all on different platforms, everything. So yeah. I'm about to take off. But y'all know me. Any breaking news and stuff, I'm going to do what I can to drop it and talk about it. Even if it's an impromptu quick stream. But yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Y'all stay blessed. You streaming tomorrow, TD? Yes, I will be streaming tomorrow. I'll be doing both games. For sure. All right, y'all. Love y'all. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay blessed. Hold on. Yeah, I got that. All right.